I will be stunned if we don't have a recession in 23. I will not be surprised if it's not larger than the so-called average garden variety. And I don't rule out, but I don't rule out something really bad.
Billionaire investor, hedge fund manager, and philanthropist Stanley Druckenmiller, largely considered one of the most successful investors in modern history, has just put himself on record in a long-form interview on CNBC. He says he would be stunned if a recession doesn't happen in 2023. A recession larger than average, and he just has this feeling that something bad is going to happen. Listen to this.
I will be stunned if we don't have a recession in 23. Don't know the timing, but certainly by the end of 23. I will not be surprised if it's not larger than the so-called average garden variety. And I don't rule out, not my forecast, but I don't rule out something really bad. Why? Because if you look at the liquidity situation that has driven this, we're going to go from all this QE to QT. We're following an asset bubble. We've been doing all this running down on the SPR, which is now, that's the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. It's now below 84 levels, even though obviously oil consumption is much higher. We've had a bunch of myopic policies that have actually delayed the liquidity shrinkage. QT has been almost entirely offset by Janet Yellen running down the Treasury savings account. By the way, pretty amazing policy. She could have sold 10 years for under 1% during this time. Instead, she runs down the Treasury savings account. So all that has masked the liquidity shrinkage, but it really comes into full gear. And she can continue this for a while. We can do the SPR for a while, stimulative stuff. But by the first quarter of 23, it kind of goes the other way. So our central case is a hard landing by the end of 23. But I don't know. I've been wrong on a lot of things. I could be wrong on this. But since I do it for a living, that's our forecast, which is a recession in 23.
A larger than average recession is not all that Stanley Druckenmiller went on to predict in that interview. Welcome back, everybody, to Altcoin Daily. You subscribe for daily videos keeping you informed on the entire cryptocurrency market. Hit the subscribe button, join our team. Cryptocurrency could enjoy a renaissance as trust in banks fade. Macro legend Stanley Druckenmiller has called for a possible crypto renaissance even as the global economy extends its suffering. Let's talk about this. Druckenmiller said that he thinks that the U.S. economy could suffer from a hard landing in the medium-term future, adding that he would be stunned if we don't have a recession in 2023. Do you agree with this? Do you disagree with this? Druckenmiller chose not to mince his words as he discussed the bleak macro picture. He said that the U.S. was in, quote, deep trouble and shared an ominous warning that something really bad could happen due to the worsening state of the economy. However, although Druckenmiller's commentary may be enough to scare investors worldwide, given his phenomenal track record in playing market cycles, he hinted there could be a silver lining for crypto enthusiasts. Druckenmiller posited the idea of crypto renaissance if people start to lose trust in central banks. Do you think that Stanley Druckenmiller's argument that cryptocurrency is orders of magnitude greater from an adoption and acceptance, a development and integration point of view, that if the US and the world has a greater than average recession, that cryptocurrency could see a new renaissance? Well, you have to ask yourself, is cryptocurrency orders of magnitude ahead as far as acceptance, adoption, and stuff like this? I'd argue yes. Chainlink is building a token infrastructure for SWIFT. This is huge. A collaborative proof of concept will allow SWIFT messages to instruct token transfers. If you're unfamiliar with SWIFT, they are the standard in cross-border international payments. The XRP army has always been talking about SWIFT working with them. Bitcoiners have always been talking about how Bitcoin will make SWIFT obsolete. Well, SWIFT is still very much part of the conversation, and the fact that Chainlink, that they're adopting crypto, they're adopting Chainlink rather than just fall into obscurity, This is huge. Chainlink and Swift have announced a proof of concept that will allow the International Bank Cooperative to transfer cryptocurrencies across almost all blockchains, meaning Swift could soon interact with blockchain assets. In a press release, blockchain Oracle network Chainlink revealed that a collaborative proof of concept would allow Swift to instruct token transfers across nearly every blockchain environment. Chainlink added that this would allow financial institutions to become blockchain capable without confronting high upfront costs and development challenges. The upcoming proof of concept will use Chainlink's cross-chain interoperability protocol, CCIP, a global standard for cross-chain messaging, data, and token transfers that was announced in August of 2021. Listen to the announcement yourself at SmartCon 2022. Sergey Nazarov, the founder of Chainlink, with a representative from Swift, talk about this partnership. Listen.
To announce that we are working on an initial proof of concept together with Swift on the use of CCIP. In the capital markets to enable communications and movement of tokens between a number of different institutions in a way that'll accelerate the adoption of DLT blockchains and benefit various institutions all over the capital markets.
Not everybody is aware about Swift, but I will try to explain it very quickly. So Swift is a cooperative, is an international cooperative. We run perhaps the biggest network in financial services today for capital markets, for payments, for FX, for trade. We are headquartered in Belgium, although we have sort of operations everywhere. We have around 11,000 banks that are connected to Swift today. They exchange financial information in the most secure, reliable, and scalable way. All right, so that's one, just to frame it that. The second piece is that the POC that we're doing, it's the end of a long story, right? I think 5 or 7 years ago was the first time Swift and Chainlink started working together. You were actually one of the first startups that we bet on. You won the startup challenge that we used to have a long time ago. And then even before blockchain was something that financial services had in their minds, I don't think at the time nobody was doing anything on blockchain, on financial services. Swift and Chainlink worked together on the first POC that we did on bond issuance and redemption. It was quite successful. And that was maybe the first steps of this sort of love story between Swift and Chainlink, which continues today.
Cryptocurrency adoption, acceptance, integration, partnerships is without a doubt orders of magnitude bigger than it ever has been. Another one. OpenSea partners with Warner Music Group on music NFT. What does this mean? Well, NFT marketplace OpenSea partnering with the US record label Warner Music Group means that artists who signed under Warner Music Group will have their own drop pages on OpenSea in an attempt to bolster fan engagement and build community, according to a Warner Music Group release. Quote from OpenSea Vice President, "As a massive music fan myself, I'm thrilled to work with a partner who understands the significance of this technology and wants to use it for good to empower artists to own their fan connections directly." Musical artists and companies all over are adopting this technology. You'll recall, in February, Universal Music Group partnered with the entertainment NFT platform Curio to drop digital assets for the record label, and music streaming giant Spotify announced in May that it will begin trialing NFTs on its platform, Spotify. NFTs are here to stay. As you know, Instagram has adopted NFT technology. You can now connect your wallet to Instagram and post your, quote, digital collectibles, or NFTs, on your Insta timeline. These are the wallets that they are compatible with, what it would look like for Instagram Mobily, Coinbase, Dapper, MetaMask, Rainbow Trust. Awesome to see. So, what are your thoughts? Instagram now advertising NFTs, or as they call them, digital collectibles, but they're working with Ethereum and other blockchains. It's great to see. Cardano, edges closer to a make or break point. Cardano is moving closer to the apex of a descending triangle formation, which is not a bullish chart pattern. That's not what I want to focus on. What I want to focus on is happy birthday, Cardano. The Cardano blockchain has officially turned 5 years old today. Since the Genesis block 5 years ago, Cardano has grown rapidly to become one of the largest blockchain networks by market cap with an expanding global community. In other news, and again, this is big if you realize the potential future of this space, Circle expands its USDC stablecoin support from Ethereum to 5 new blockchains. The company also announced a cross-chain transfer protocol to streamline the movement of USDC across networks. So, Circle, the company behind the world's second largest stablecoin, announced on Wednesday that it will soon be making USDC available on 5 additional blockchains. By early next year, USDC will be compatible with Arbitrum, Cosmos, Near, Optimism, and Polkadot. Quote from Circle's VP of Product: extending multi-chain support for USDC opens the door for institutions, exchanges, developers, and more to innovate and have easier access to a trusted and stable digital dollar. USDC should function on Arbitrum, Near, Optimism, and Polkadot by the end of the year, the company stated today. Compatibility with Cosmos is expected to launch by early 2023. So the writing is on the walls, my friend. You can see the way this industry is trending. You can make educated guesses for the future of this industry being multi-chain, cross-chain, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, and so much more. Subscribe to the channel. We keep you updated on a daily basis. See you tomorrow.